The Angel's Landing hike is one of the most popular trails in Zion National Park, offering some of the most stunning scenery you will ever see. In this video, I'm going to talk about Angel's Landing hike in detail, so make sure you watch till the end. Angel's Landing is approximately a 4.5 miles out and back trail. It is marked as hard on the AllTrails website and has an elevation gain of more than 1600 feet. In the recent years, Zion National Park has introduced a permit system for this trail. I'm not going to talk about how to get a permit, that might come in a future video. However, a link to the park's official website on Angel's Landing permit and hiking is in the description below. We were extremely fortunate that while we only had one day at Zion National Park, we still got through the lottery. We arrived much later than we had hoped for at Zion National Park and tried to find parking at the visitor center, but were unsuccessful. So we went out of the park into Springdale through the south entrance, and just outside on the right is a small parking. There were very few spots available and the parking was pretty expensive at $40 for the day. The link to the Google Maps location of the parking is in the description below. Zion National Park does not allow personal vehicles to be driven into the Zion Valley in high season. Either taking a shuttle or riding a bike are your only options. A lot of people rent electric bikes so that they are not dependent on the shuttles, especially if there are chances of missing the last shuttle out. The only way to be able to take your car in is if you have a reservation at the Zion Lodge. We then walked over to the visitor center and to the Zion Shuttle bus stop. We hopped onto the shuttle. It was a beautiful and pleasant ride into the valley, and we got off at stop number 6, which is the Grotto picnic area. There are restrooms and water fountains at the bus stop. It is advisable to fill up water and use restrooms before starting on any long hike. From the bus stop, cross the road over to the other side and go over the little bridge crossing the Virgin River. Take time reading the signs and safety information about the hike. Just as you cross the bridge, a trail goes straight ahead and uphill. That's not the one you want to take. Turn right and keep walking along the river. A few minutes in and there is a ranger station where you can ask any questions and they will inform you about the permit for Angel's Landing chains section. They will not stop you from going ahead, as we do not need a permit to go up till Scout Lookout. It is only for the chains section that we need a permit. There is another check at the beginning of the chains section. Another thing to know is that most of the trail is paved all the way up to Scout Lookout, and the chains section is about half a mile further up from there. I would divide the entire hike into 5 segments. The first segment is almost flat and first in sand, then paved. A little further ways in, the trail steers left and leaves the river's side and also starts picking up elevation. From here we could start seeing the switchbacks and all the people hiking up there. The second segment would be the switchbacks. These switchbacks are no joke, they are extremely steep and long. They are mostly exposed to the sun too, depending on what time of the day you begin your hike. We saw two stranded groups waiting for help from rangers. This is where we are headed, and this is what we have covered.
So we came up this trail. You can see people walking up. I think we are around 30 floors above already.
Yeah, this section is really steep, but the views keep getting better. Switchbacks. Look at those. This is a good, nice shaded section though to walk on. We hiked in May, which is one of the nicer times of the year to hike Angel's Landing. In summer, it can get excessively hot and dry, causing dehydration and fatigue. The third segment, also known as the Refrigerator Canyon, would be a flat section again in between two mountains. It was almost in shade on our way up but sunnier on our way down. It is advisable to hike earlier in the day, so most strenuous sections would have some shade. This segment is easygoing, relaxing, and lets you catch up on your breath. This is the only shady part of Angel's Landing hike. By the end of Refrigerator Canyon, we would have ascended about 1,000 feet. The fourth segment would be the steep small switchbacks again. This is the part that is one of the most famous pictures of Angel's Landing Trail. This section is called Walter's Wiggles and is a series of 21 steep switchbacks. These switchbacks are short but steep, has a lot of places to stop and rest. Just as these switchbacks end, you have arrived at a flatter terrain and you are here at Scout Lookout. There are a set of restrooms here but no water filling station. Sit back and relax, enjoy the views, and then comes the fifth and the last segment of the trail, the famous chains section. I have a detailed video of the chains section both going up and down. Be sure to check that out. Just as the chains begin, a ranger will check your permit and let you go only if you have one. Others are turned back. Okay.
Permit today?
Yes. I have it on my phone. Yeah, because of the sand, I guess, right?
That and we have the most.
The ranger mentioned that a lot of people do the first 100 feet or so of the chains and return back, realizing that this is not what they're ready for. Also, we realized that the beginning of the chains section might be scarier than the rest of it. I was also much more cautious and nervous at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's some uphill climbing and then comes a bit of a flat section where you first have to climb downhill and then back uphill again. Just before the uphill climb is the most famous picture of the chains section. This little bit of trail is exposed on both sides and has no railings or chains. If you have a fear of heights, you might want to think again because climbing up is going to be easier than climbing down. Note that there are other sections which do not have chains as well, but they are not all as scary. If you're expecting to hold on to chains at all times, that is not going to be possible. Even where there are chains, you might have to step aside to let other people pass through. The trail was not super crowded, probably because of the permit system, so there is less waiting to let people pass through. The entire chain section is about half a mile to the top. The top is pretty wide and flattish, and so it did not seem dangerous and scary to me.
Is it too high? The chain?
Yeah, that's powerful. Thank you. Ah. Is that it? Is that it? Okay, awesome, thank you. Yeah. It's never ending.
squirrel.
The views of the valley on either side are beautiful. You can spend some time resting a bit, have some snacks, spot the shuttles on the road, and head back. Like I said earlier, to me climbing down the chain section seemed more difficult and requiring a bit of technique than climbing up. Plus, you're constantly looking deep down into the valley. Once back at Scout Lookout, it is nice and easy walk downhill and way faster too. Hope this video helps you decide on whether you want to do this hike or not and provides you with all the kinds of answers you were looking for. If you have questions, please put them down in the comments and I would be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching.
Don't take us the longest to descend and then
They're not super.
But we are still on this side of this